Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Welcome.
Peter, are you using React at all?
Can't say I am at all.
Okay.
Mainly because I do. So I'm still doing the programming in the web viewer. I've got my
Yep.
little IDE that I showed you last time.
Yep.
So that kind of obviates having multiple files all over the place.
Yep.
But my needs haven't been as complex as it sounds like a lot of this is you guys are doing too. So I'm kind of like, I work on a need to know basis. If I
Right.
don't need to know it, then I won't learn it just yet.
Yep.
And, but someday, I mean, I explore it. And I thank you for that because you mentioned Vue as well. And so I go, should I learn React? Should I learn Vue? Should I learn, like there's all these different things that I'm
Svelte.
always worried about. What's that?
Svelte.
Daniel?
Sorry, I like Svelte.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. So there's all these options to choose from. It's like, and I'm an old CDML guy. And so I invested a lot of time back in the day on CDML, only to have them sort of pull the rug out from under us. And so I've been a little, once bitten, twice shy about learning new technologies and that sort of thing. So I was worried about choosing the wrong one,
Well, and
investing a lot of time in the wrong platform.
it's about what fits best into FileMaker. I don't know Vue or Svelte or whatever. Dan, does Svelte work in a web viewer just fine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So by that logic, then Vue could, or I think Laravel could, another framework. Any of that stuff could work in there because it's ultimately it's about getting it into one string, right? And you have a bundler to take care of that. So it doesn't matter what framework you're using, really.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
I can relate hard to having so many options and how do you pick?
I think
I wasn't sure if I was going to go the Svelte route, but I decided to just try it and realized it worked.
Yeah, at some point you just sort of jump in and start doing it. And
yeah.
I picked React because it's like the third or fourth most popular framework out there. It's is created by Meta. They Facebook. They are using it. It's well tested and it's well talked about in the community. So that's why I picked React. And plus, Todd, I think when I worked with Todd, when we built those add-ons, he forced me to learn React. It was, oh my God, he threw me into that stuff. So this is a project that I did for a client that is built off of React. And there's actually no libraries installed that do this. I built all of this from scratch. I do have some libraries that can handle like the hovering and this, but this is the whole point of React, is to make an update to the UI without refreshing things, and then storing that state in its memory so that it can be used throughout the project. That's what I think React's point is. And this, doing that, again, and Adam spoke of this, a component. So I built one component that looks like this, and I use it just 25 times based on the data. I just pass in what they call props. I pass in the name, I pass in a number, and I pass a click handler to store which values are being clicked on. So this was in fact, here's my state. In fact, I forgot about this, but I have a state object that describes everything that the user has clicked on so that I can, I'm keeping track of it and I know every moment what's going. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry. Let me show you.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, I forget. I always share so my state is in this variable that I am console logging, and it holds an object to represent everything that they have selected in this case. So that's, I think, the power of React, is to be able to handle the state of the UI at any given time.
Yeah, great. And like you said, the components, you can kind of build small pieces and group them together to create a big thing.
Yep.
You don't have to have one massive like file, for example.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Yeah, and now with
FileMaker 19.4, 3 or 4, no? We don't need to care about the Windows, the old stuff in Windows, because all code is running without any modification in both worlds. So it's very easy to now to publish to both, no, Windows and Mac.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
nice.
Mike,
Adam,
Ben, or whoever.
I got a question. Yeah, I got a question for Adam. Well, Jeremy maybe, but just remembered. I'm not. Did you talk about it just now? But in Berlin, which connector are you using? You're using like connector from Todd Geist, right? From Proof Geist in there to. In addition,
Yeah, I
which
use
is like
I use
Gopher.
the not the Gopher, but the from Todd Geist, the library to communicate from within the web viewer into FileMaker. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was worth mentioning, and I'll just a quick let you guys talk about it. Maybe Jeremy, like, what's the advantage the Todd Geist one and Gopher one, or doesn't it really matter?
Yeah. There are many ways to fetch data. In fact, I've been sort of jotting down some ideas for a course on that. There's many ways to fetch data. Todd has one called FM Fetch. I saw it in your code there, Adam. There's FM Gopher. There's a couple other ways, but they just are a function to, they use the perform JavaScript, FileMaker.perform JavaScript their own way, but then they build it around a promise. So a promise allows the UI to wait for the data to come back before it's rendered. So there's no wrong way to fetch data. I just use FM Gopher because I know it's been updated recently. I don't know if FMF fetch is being maintained or supported.
I guess no.
But it still works. So there's
Yeah,
I mean,
it works. Yeah.
all of the add-ons have the FM fetch in there. So there are some. Oh, it's interesting. He has some update.
Yeah, there's an update last month.
Yeah. So that's cool. But yeah, I like FM Gopher. There is quite a bit of difference between the two as far as what they return. So if you explore them, you just got to be watching for what they return. Todd's stringifies the data, parses the data to make it ready for the web viewer. Josh's FM Gopher does not, as far as I understand. Is that right, Dan? It's been a while since I've used it.
That's right. Yeah. It allows, which is more flexible, allows anything to be passed in.
That's correct. Yeah. So,
and I like FM Gopher and FM Mock together. It's nice to be able to develop just completely in an editor and a browser.
Yep.
With that.
I don't do that. I don't use the editor, so I don't use FM Mock. I stick with FileMaker, but the principle's the same. It's all the same. So, Michael, you're using React, right? Are you playing with React? I know Sam is. Doug hasn't dived into it yet. But React is a good next step for us FileMaker developers. Even if you don't have a complex user interface, it just allows them a lot more freedom because you're not reliant on a library and their options and their needs. You can build a dang table from scratch. You can build a picker from scratch. You can use components, but that's not the same as using a library. You can use JavaScript to write the JavaScript. You can use JavaScript to render something in the HTML. It's a lot more flexible. Yeah. Michael, if you're there, I think you're using React. I think you and I have talked about that. So very cool. Chelsea, Martina, does that sound, Mark? Does React sound look interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
One of the languages I want to learn. I know a little bit, but not quite as deep as what some of y'all.
Chelsea, is that going to be your next foray into once you get React down, you want to go back or go get some JavaScript down, you want to go into React, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's really just all about the interface. What do you need the web viewer's interface to do to make it work? If you need to be able to handle state, then and that's a weird concept, but if you need to be able to handle what the user is doing and keep track of it, then React is a way to go. So while we're here, I might as well but I have a quick demo of let's see if I've got that. So one of the versions of my framework is npm start is a React version. You can, when you go to create a widget, you can choose a React version. My system is a little bit different than, let's see if I can, oh, no. So here's my version of it. Let's get rid of that. This is just, again, something I copied from working with Todd. Here's my version of it. The whole point is to show that this is the state that's being updated by the button. So it's pretty damn simple, but its point is to show that I'm not doing any of the communication between FileMaker at the moment. I could. In fact, it looks like I had a script. I had something in there, but you know, what I've got here is a button component. It's a button component because it's a capital B. Components are always capitalized. They're functions, but they return something of HTML. This is just an HTML element that they return. And when I use it, over here on the left, I've got a bunch of data here, some buttons in an array. And then all I'm mapping over those right here, and I'm creating one component per data point here. And they each get individual information so that it knows the button itself. I'll open it again. The button itself takes in a button property and then a function, and the button itself we're putting the text on there. So this is the button that comes in, and then we're getting the text out of there from that. Here's one button.text is what it is. Oh, it's this one, button.text. So this is as simple as it needs to be, but it's allowing me to. So if I pass data in from FileMaker, I could potentially create a menu when the data comes in from FileMaker, one button per layout that I want people to click on. To navigate to, and then that button could actually run a FileMaker script that goes to that layout. So I could create a universal menu that could be accessed anywhere because it's on a web viewer layout. So, bye, Martina. Good to talk to you. Oh, she might have already left, but so this is my version of it. It's a little bit complex, but yeah, that's where we're at. React is the next step for all of us, I think. So pretty soon we'll try to have some courses on it. Although I did link to the best documentation of it. They really put a lot of effort into making the documentation look really great. So